Hey lovies, welcome back to another recipe. Hope you're all doing great. So on today's recipe, I'm going to be taking you through how to make this delicious corned beef roll. If you're interested, do stay tuned. Let me take you through the process of making this delicacy. So guys, for making our corned beef roll, I'm going to be using plain flour, which is also known as all-purpose flour. And for all the measurements of the ingredients used on this recipe, I'm going to be having them on the description box and also pinning them on the comment section. So after adding in my 6 cups of flour, I'll just go ahead and sift this. This is just going to make the process of making the dough easier. Right now, I'll add in my sugar, baking powder, and I'll go ahead and add in some salt, some nutmeg, and some turmeric powder, just a little bit. As I said earlier, I'll have all the measurements on the description box and comment section. So I'll mix them together. The reason for adding the turmeric is just to give this dough that popping color, just make it look more inviting, and the nutmeg purpose is just for flavor. So I'll add in 2 eggs into my milk and I'll just go ahead and whisk them together. So my milk is cold. Everything I'm using on this recipe is cold as we want our dough to be flaky. So right now I'll add in my cold, very cold butter into my dry ingredients, and I'll just go ahead and mash the butter to mix with the flour, and I'm just going to be going for that breadcrumbs texture, just to mix it properly. You can see I'm using a lot of butter on this dough because I want it to come out flaky. So right now I'll add in my cold wet ingredients into my dry ingredients, and I'll go ahead and mix them all together. So after mixing the bowl, the dry ingredient and the wet ingredient together, I'll just go ahead and place this on my work surface to make sure I mix them all properly. So I'm just going to make sure they come together. I'm not going to be kneading this dough because I just want that flaky texture. So I'll just mix it up together for just less than 30 seconds, just to make it come together. So I'm not going to be doing this up to 1 minute. So right now my dough have come together. I'll just go ahead and section it into 4 parts and wrap this with a cling film and just put it in my fridge to rest while I prep my filling. So guys, for the filling, we're using corned beef, as this is corned beef pie. So I'll go ahead and open the tin of my corned beef, as I'm using 2 tins here, and I'll put this into my food processor, add in some garlic powder, ginger powder, some smoked paprika, and some spicy peppers, just to get that kind of spicy flavor. I love spicy in my pies. So I'll go ahead and mix this together, and also you can add your breadcrumbs to this to give it that nice texture and to make it come really well together. But I forgot to add it while mixing it, so you're going to be seeing me adding in some breadcrumbs. Yeah, I'll just go ahead and mix this, and this is what my filling look like. So right now I'll start by rolling out my dough which I'll just sprinkle in a little bit of flour on my work surface and roll out my dough into a very thin dough. So you're going to be seeing what I'm doing here. So guys, you can see the work of the turmeric on this dough. You can see how it is making the color of the dough popping, like giving it more life, and also like it's just going to also give it that nice flavor. I tell you, you need to try adding turmeric when making this recipe, as you are going to love it. So guys, this is what my dough look like, and I'll go ahead right now and add in the filling. So for the filling, you can go ahead and add as much or as less as you want. This is not meat pie, so it's not going to burst out. You're free to add as much or less of filling on this recipe. And I'll go ahead and whisk 1 egg and just like use it to like spread on the side of the dough, so it will help it to seal up properly. So you can see how I went ahead to lift up the dough, so easy peasy. And I'll go ahead and seal up the end properly so it won't loosen up and burst while in the oven. And I'll just use my rolling pin just to flatten it more to make it look uniform. So right now I will cut off the edges, and I will divide my sausage rolls into 3 sections. So depending on how big or small you're going for, you can section it into how many size you want. So I want this to be a bit big as I'm making this for a friend, so I would love it to be big and well presentable. So I'll just go ahead and make it big, transfer them into my baking tray, which I have my parchment sheet lined already. And I'll go ahead and continue making the other parts of the dough. So guys, if you don't have oven for this recipe, I have different baked recipe like meat pies, fish rolls that I baked without oven. I'm going to be pinning a link of them on the comment section and also on the description box, so you can check them out on how to make your corned beef rolls without oven. So guys, while I'm making the last batch of my rolls, I'm already preheating my oven, and I'm going to be baking them on 170 degrees for about 30 minutes. So guys, thank you very much for clicking on this recipe, and I hope you found it helpful. If you do, please don't forget to give this video a big like, as this will be very helpful to this recipe, and it will also make YouTube to know that this content is valued, and they can also recommend to other people. And also don't forget to drop a comment, as also it is also very helpful to my channel. And if you do have any questions, do drop them on the comment section, as I will gladly reply to them as soon as possible. And thank you very much for watching. So right now I will transfer it into my oven and bake it on 170 degrees for 30 minutes. And 30 minutes later, my corned beef roll is well baked, smelling divine, flaky, delicious, like insanely delicious. So guys, I'll go ahead now and spread in some butter, and this butter is just going to melt in as the dough is still very hot. This is going to make it more soft, delicious, and mouth watering. Thank you so much guys for watching. till I see you on my next recipe. If you've not yet subscribed to this channel, please do go ahead and click on that red subscribe button so you will always get to receive my notification anytime I post my recipes, and also do click on the notification bell so you get notified. This is the end result of this recipe, and I hope you enjoyed watching. Have a beautiful day.